Do you even know what you want anymore? Like, actually want. Not what you should want or what you used to want. Not what your parents think you should aim for. Not what your past self thought would make you proud. I mean right now, this version of you, when nobody's watching, when you're lying in bed, staring at the ceiling, trying to fall asleep. What does that version of you want? Because I don't know if I do, and I don't think I'm alone in that. I think a lot of us are walking around pretending like we know, going through the motions, making plans, chasing goals. But deep down, there's this quiet kind of confusion, like something slipped out of your hands a while ago, and you didn't even notice until now. There was a time I thought I had it figured out. I had a clear picture in my head of who I was going to be, what my life would look like. It wasn't perfect, but it was something, and I clung to it for years. Even when things changed, even when I changed, I still kept trying to force myself into this old blueprint of a life that didn't fit anymore. And I think that's when it started. This slow drift, not just away from the goal, but away from myself. And the worst part? I didn't even realize it was happening. There wasn't a big crash, no dramatic turning point, just a bunch of small moments I brushed off, skipping things I used to love, feeling numb in situations that should have made me excited, saying, I don't know, more often when people asked me what I wanted next. It's like I slowly stopped asking myself real questions, or maybe I was afraid of the answers. Maybe I still am. I remember this one night. I was up way too late scrolling like usual. Just noise in my face. People being productive, people being successful, people building these amazing lives. And I thought, damn, everyone seems to know where they're going except me. And not in a bitter way, more like confused, like I was missing something everyone else had figured out. I started thinking about who I used to be, not in a nostalgic, everything was better back then way. Just curious, because that version of me, a few years ago, maybe more, he used to feel alive. I don't know how else to describe it. He was scared a lot, sure, and insecure and kind of lost. But there was something burning in him, a kind of hunger. He actually wanted things. He believed things were possible. Now, I still get things done. I still try. But it's different. There's less fire, more autopilot. And I hate admitting that. I hate saying it out loud. But I think it's true. And I've been wondering lately, when did that shift happen? Was it the first time I burned out doing something I thought I loved? Was it when I started choosing what's safe over what's meaningful? Was it when I stopped giving myself permission to dream because dreaming didn't feel productive anymore? I don't know. Probably all of it. Maybe more. But here's the thing I'm starting to see. Not knowing what you want isn't the same as being broken. It's not failure. It just means something's changing. Something inside you is asking for your attention. And instead of forcing yourself to chase some old goal out of fear or pride, maybe it's okay to pause. Maybe it's okay to not have the next answer right now. That's terrifying, I know, especially in a world that constantly pushes you to move faster, to hustle, to optimize every second. But sometimes slowing down is the most honest thing you can do. I've been trying something lately, and I don't know if it's helping, but it feels more honest than anything else I've tried. I started writing down not what I want in life, not some 5-year plan, but just little moments that make me feel real. Stuff that makes me feel anything. A conversation where I felt heard. A song that made me cry a little. A walk that actually quieted my brain for once. I started collecting those, not judging them, not trying to turn them into something, just noticing. And weirdly, those tiny things have started pointing me somewhere. Not toward a goal, just back to myself. And maybe that's the point right now. Not chasing clarity, but getting honest enough to admit you're lost and still showing up anyway. There was a moment last week, nothing major, just a Tuesday night, and I caught myself laughing at something stupid. Like, actually laughing. No phone in my hand. No thinking about what's next. Just present. And it hit me how rare that's become. How often I go days, weeks, living inside my own head, planning everything, avoiding everything, numbing everything. But for that 1 second, I felt like someone I hadn't seen in a long time. Someone a little lighter. I don't want to keep waiting for life to feel real again. I don't want to keep performing purpose for the world just because I'm scared of saying I don't know. Because I think a lot of us are afraid of admitting we're unsure. We think that if we don't have a direction, we'll get left behind, or judged, or forgotten. But the truth is, we all hit these phases. Quiet ones, confusing ones, where the old version of ourselves is fading, and the new one hasn't arrived yet. It's uncomfortable, it's foggy, but it's also necessary. You don't have to prove anything in this phase. You don't have to pretend to be certain when you're not. There's no gold medal for forcing clarity. It's okay to be in between, to not have the answer, to not feel ready. You're still allowed to take up space in the world. You're still worthy, even if you're figuring it out as you go. I think part of growing up, the real kind, not the one they sell you in books or movies, is realizing that wanting changes, and that's not a flaw. That's life. You're allowed to want different things now. You're allowed to let go of goals that no longer fit. You're allowed to outgrow dreams that kept you going once. You're allowed to want softness, not success. Rest, not hustle. Realness, not perfection. And maybe wanting starts with listening. Not just to your thoughts, but to your body, your energy. What drains you? What lights you up? What makes you feel small? What makes you feel seen? Maybe instead of asking, what do I want? We can start with, what do I miss? Or what have I been avoiding? Or what would feel good even just for today? Because that might be enough, for now. I know this version of life doesn't look shiny on social media. I know it's quiet and slow and hard to explain to others, but it's real. It's yours. And maybe, even in the middle of the mess, that's something to hold on to. You don't have to become some perfect version of yourself. You just have to come back to the real one, even if that takes time, even if that means unlearning who you thought you had to be, even if all you can do today is say, I'm not sure, but I'm still here. That counts. That's enough. I believe in you. Now, believe in yourself.